Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and I have the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves right here in front of me, including 2 performance bargains you're not going to want to miss. Alright, we're starting things off this week with a couple new artworks for a couple new Swiss Army knife models. So 2 times 2 equals 4, right?
Artwork squared.
They're kind of oval, though. Not so much squared. Or rounded rectangles, perhaps.
Bottle openers.
There you go. Those just help you get sideways. Exclusive artwork.
For the term lateral.
There you go. Exclusive artwork from Leela on the Tinker and on the, Classic SD. I'll hold the Tinkers up here real quick first. We have the snakes. Black and white snake on a pink background, white snake on the reverse, white snake.
There we go again.
We're on our own, what can I say? And the Southwest pattern. We've got the bull on the front with the desert landscape and the after bull on the back side. Very cool artwork. We're $34 on the Tinkers, $24 on the Classic SD. If you're unfamiliar with the tool set, the Tinker has 2 blades, a larger and a smaller. It also has the standard complement of cap lifter and bottle opener, cap lifter and can opener that comes on many Swiss Army knives out there. The can opener also works as a small flathead and even a number 2 Phillips in a pinch, provided the screw is in okay shape. Wire stripper on the flathead or the cap lifter as well. And on the back side, being the Tinker, you have a 3D Phillips and you have a key ring. If I can get it out of the way, I can open the awl that is also on the back there. Toothpick and tweezers, of course, are standard in the handles. And if you're unfamiliar with the Classic SD, I'll hold the snakes up since I was holding the Southwest one up of the Tinker. You have the SD part is the screwdriver tip end on the nail file right here. Also comes with the small pen blade, great for opening small packages, just day-to-day light-duty stuff, and the small pair of scissors that cut better than you would certainly expect for scissors this size. And toothpick and tweezers, of course. Check them out now. Keeping up the colorfulness, we have some spooky knives. It is approaching Halloween, so we're in spooky season, of course. The Heretic Hydra V4 from Heretic. We have the Frankenstein Monster cell shade recurve version right here. And the orange one is the Horror Night cell shade version. So there you go. Very cool single action out the front automatics. What that means is you can't just hit a switch. We have a double action here. You can't just hit a switch to retract the blade. You have to manually cock the blade, essentially. You have to move the button firing cover plate here to press the button to disengage the locking mechanism that holds the blade open, and then pull from the back side, and you basically rack the action. So now the knife is ready to fire. It's under constant spring tension, which is why you've got that nice safety cover there to keep you from accidentally pressing it. Because unlike a double action OTF, where the springs are at rest in both the open and closed position, this is primed and ready to go. Push the button there. There you go. Very, very strong action, of course, from these. 3 3/4, about 3 5/8 of an inch on the blade length. We've got Magnum cut steel, giving you great toughness, edge retention, and stainless qualities. The recurve is going to add a little bit of extra sharpened length to the fixed blade length, and a little power on the pull cuts as well over a completely straight edge, which is really nice. And there's plenty of handle there to hold on to even for big hands. My hands are slightly larger than average, but not huge. And you can see I've got plenty of space there. Huge hands, I think, would have no problem with this knife whatsoever. Usable outside of spooky season 2, I would say. Also from Heretic, we have a pocket fixed blade, a genre I am particularly fond of. This is the Kobold. New release from them. $285 for this. Did I mention the prices on the Hydras? I didn't, did I? $549 on those. But the Kobold, US made, Magnum cut steel, coming in $285. Very cool clip point blade going on. You've got a saber height flat grind, a fuller on each side with some pass-throughs. Speed holes, I think they make it go faster, right? It's primarily decorative, doesn't really serve a functional purpose there. It looks pretty good. You have 2 flared tubes in the handle giving you tie-off points if you wanted to use it as such. Blade length 2 5/8 here. Great little everyday carry. The blade is not super thick, so even though the grind is not super high, it should still slice pretty decently. Grip for me, it's just barely 4 finger. It's designed to be a 4-finger knife, but if your hands are larger, you can see I'm starting to come off the backside here, but that's where that lanyard fob is going to come in handy, giving you extra grip. The leading edge here is unguarded, but you do have a kind of docked corner here. So when you're gripping the knife, at least the sharpened edge isn't right up against your skin, gives you a little added degree of peace of mind. And the sheath is quite excellent, made by our friends at JRE Industries, as you can see right here. So the knife and the sheath made in USA, and it comes with this ulti-clip right here, which allows you to swap it around left or right. So pocket carry in either side of your body will be quite nice, because the ulti-clip clamps down, keeps the sheath in place when you go to pull the knife, and keeps it from flopping around in your pocket. Really nice solution. All right, here's the 2 performance bargains I was talking about. Both of these knives are not necessarily cheap, but the price you pay for the performance level you're gonna get on these is really, really good. The first is from Artisan Cutlery. This is the Tradition V2. They're recently redesigned iteration of the Tradition, which is one of their earlier, maybe even their first release in the US. But anyway, very early in any case. The blade is now broader, the handle is a little bit slimmer, and a little bit kind of more considered, more balanced, I would say, than the older versions, which nothing wrong with those at all, but this one just feels, well, it feels like version 2. With this, blue G10 handles, S35 VN blade, and the price is coming in at about $90. So you're getting a really good level of performance for the money. 3.6 inches on the blade, or 3.58 if you want to be super precise. Thin with a high flat grind means it's going to slice really, really nicely and let you take advantage of the edge retention that S35 can bring to the table. The blue color here is nice and subtle. Fits in my hand quite nicely, even though you've got a smaller secondary finger groove. It doesn't really feel like it's like impacting my grip negatively, even though I do have a larger finger than you would typically expect for a groove that size. There, I almost lost the thought. I powered through. We're fine.
You never would have known if you hadn't called it out.
Inset liner lock for a classy level of security. Almost deep carry pocket clip. It is looped over, but there is some handle sticking out the back. It is reversible for left or right hand carry. You've got reversible thumb studs and a flipper tab with ceramic bearings in the pivot. Very, very good amount of knife for this kind of dollars for sure. You're getting the performance per dollar ratio at a very good spot. Good versatile shape too. You could use it just about anywhere probably. The next is from Boker, and this is the Kihon Bifold 42A. We're still waiting on the one-hand opening version of this knife to arrive, but the two-hand opening back locking version is here. And you've got a German-made Boker with Magna cut steel for about $106 and some change. Really high level of pedigree and performance for that money. The blade is about 3.13 inches long, narrow drop point with thin blade stock and a full flat grind, which makes it a great everyday slicer. Nail nick here because this is intended to be a two-hand opener. In Germany specifically, you can have a one-hand opening knife, or you can have a knife that locks. You can't have both or carry both, unfortunately, for those folks out there. But this one does lock for safety. You just have to open it with two hands. And if that doesn't bother you here, great. It's still a great knife. It folds nice and narrow, and the cross section super, super slim thanks to this folded steel frame, which they did a lot, or they do a lot on their Atlas series of knives, which is a more affordable range of knives in general. So it's cool to see them using that and pairing it with a high performance steel as well. It kind of follows the tradition of, I like to use Spyderco as an example because they have a lot of injection molded handle knives that they put real high end steels on. So your money is going towards the heart of the blade, the actual performing steel, and the sacrifice is you don't get as quote unquote nice of a handle. Do you want a nice handle or do you want a blade that performs really well? You can have both, you just usually have to spend more money. Reversible pocket clip here, just about deep carry. Very cool knife overall. Lucas Burnley design, if you didn't already know. And we have another Kihon to take a look. This is the Kihon DC, which looks very different from the Bifold. It's only when you kind of look at the handle shape where the family resemblance comes back into play. The Kihon series has other iterations in the lineup as well, and they kind of share this outline, even if the profile, the thickness, everything else alters a bit. Kihon DC, a great budget knife. You can still get it for less than $50. You can get our KnifeCenter exclusive with Micarta and 14C28N for right at that $50 price point. Or now you can get this, a slightly classier version, for $85. That comes with a Nitro V blade here, 3 1/4 inches long, and aluminum handle scales with blue accents overall. Kind of leans into that Sebenza vibe a little bit in terms of coloration, although I would say the anodization on the aluminum here is a little more cool toned than warm toned. No matter, it is a good looking knife. It is a solid feeling knife. There's plenty to hold on to. Neutral handle shape works well for just about anyone, especially if you need to push the knife hard. If you don't, a dainty knife like this, I say dainty, but a slim knife like this is great for lighter duty stuff. But if your cuts lean into the heavier duty stuff from time to time, a thicker handle, of course, is always going to be a nice thing. The drop point blade here is very versatile. It's not too thick, not too thin, decent slicing, but pretty good strength as well. Nitro V is plenty tough for a simpler stainless steel as well, so that's a nice thing. Folded over wire clip. It moves around a little bit. If you like something with a real stable and solid feeling clip, this might not do it for you. It's not going to bend away on you. It just, when you use the crossbar lock, it kind of wiggles a little bit. Speaking of a crossbar lock, it's ambidextrous, which is nice. You've got finger safe closing action, which is also nice. And their iteration of this lock is very well done right here. Next up, another crossbar locking knife, this time from Chaves. This is their Redencion 229 model, and I believe it's the most affordable direct from Chaves version of the 229 I can remember seeing before. This is the X-Lock version, or crossbar lock version from their Blue Label line. You've got the Tonto blade or the drop point, which are kind of similar, but you get each of those blade shapes in either black or a stone washed finish. I'm going to hold the stone washed because I like the stone washed. This is actually, so I'm a drop point guy in general. I like the versatility of the blade. It can work in pretty much any format. However, the Tonto blade right here is so similar, and you have the belly at the front and just a subtle secondary point right here. This is one where personally I would probably go for the Tonto if I were picking one of these up, because you don't lose any of the utility I like. I like the arcing spine for one thing that normally comes with a drop point, and you get that here. So it makes this a little more interesting. But the stonewash blade is probably going to show up better on camera, so I'll talk about this for the rest of it. $85 for this knife. I said it was the most affordable direct from Chaves knife I can ever remember, or the version of the 229 anyway, and this is actually made by Wright as well. So it's an incredibly affordable Wright made knife. Wrights are typically much more expensive. Blade is a little over 3 inches long. You've got D2 tool steel, nice thin blade stock with a higher flat grind. Slicing on this knife is going to be phenomenal. Aluminum handles here again. Comes with 2 clips. You get the standard clip in a blade matching finish. You also get the signature Chaves skull clip. It is not reversible, however, so you don't get the full ambidextrous benefit of the crossbar lock here with this knife. It's just what it is. Sorry, lefties. Really, really nice shape. I You know, I've liked the blue line or the blue label Chaveses a lot since they were introduced last year because you often got thinner blade stock, which is just my preference. And you get that here on this new crossbar lock or X-Lock version as well. Check them out, 85 bucks. Next up, we have the Redencion Slipjoint from Chaves. A lot of Chaves this week. M390 steel, 2.5 inches long, $225, made by Wright. Titanium handles with the Chaves inlay there on the front. Nice flush back spring in the open position. Really nice walk and talk. You got a very cool half stop. You got a compound ground Tonto, thicker than these X label blade steels actually, or the crossbar locking knife there. So this is less of a slicer and more of a little, you know, attitude filled slip joint, I would say. It's not prohibitively thick, but you know, it's not the super slicer. It's really cool. It's a good blade length. And being not locking and 2.5 inches, this is something you could take just about anywhere you can have a knife. This knife would be allowed. We're not lawyers, and I said pretty much anyway, so there's my out. Don't come at me.
Or do.
You know, chime off in the comments. Where would this knife not be allowed that other knives, that some other knife might be allowed? If there's a place you can carry a knife that you can't carry this particular knife, let me know. There we go. Next up from Chaves, just a couple more from them. We've got the Sangre Street. Sangre, the same root for blood, I believe. Exsanguinate, to remove all the blood.
Chilling.
I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. Integral this time around. So the titanium handle is a single piece, no backspacers, no screws to get loose, just a solid chunk of indomitable titanium. Like, it ain't going anywhere. 3.5 inch blade. You've got black or satin. There's some other finishes too. There's black handles available also you can get for this. 3.5 inch Wharncliffe with distinct facets going on. A hollow grind to keep the actual thickness behind the edge narrower, a bit longer. And that also contributes to making a very needle-like tip. Even though you've got slightly chunkier blade steel and definitively chunkier handles, that tip can still act with precision when you need to score really finely or really fine cuts that way, or choke back or cut back near the heel, and you could really push through a heavier cut. 2 pocket clips again here, blade matching finish. You've got the skull installed out of the box. You've got the more plain one, which looks a lot like that, also available, also in the box for you. Ball bearings in the pivot. Let's check out the action. Yeah, it's very nice. As if we should be surprised. Very, very nice indeed. Next up, second to last up, penultimately from Chaves, some of the Blade Show stuff I brought back from Blade Show West, which was 2 weekends ago, by the time you're watching this. This is the CHUB, the handy utility blade. We had versions of this on the channel a couple weeks ago. Seth, or I guess last Thursday, Seth was kind enough to showcase that. But we have a limited number of the Blade Show West version right here with the engraving in blue right on the blade cover, and this very nice Utah themed graphic inlaid or milled into the front side. Really nice. 250 bucks. Yes, it's a lot for a utility blade, but it is a switchblade, which is just so much fun. So made in the USA. Now the handles here feel like titanium, but the website right now says aluminum. If that's a mistake, we'll correct that and we'll say what it is right here, right now.
That was work for me.
But it's a really nice kind of stone washed texture on the handle. Feels really, really good. I swear that feels like titanium. If it's not titanium and is actually aluminum, it is the best aluminum I've ever felt in terms of that premium titanium-like feel. Yeah, anyway, the action is really good, really nice. The switch is plenty aggressive for, so you're not gonna slip off of it, but it's not so sharp that it's gonna dig in over time. Pocket clip here is the skull. It only comes with one, so no aggressive clip is available. But yeah, check them out now. Stock on hand. Last but not least, from the Chaves train, we've got another 229. This one is the ProTech collaboration version. This is also brought back from Blade West. It's a really nice version right here. S35VN, compound grind, mirror polished, stainless steel handles, textured and chunky. Like, this is one where you really feel the handle weight of it. If you want a lighter version of this knife, we have them, or do generally have them. Whether we have any in stock right now, I don't know or not, but you can check the link below. But this is the showpiece. You've got the mother of pearl button right there, the really dramatic blade with that mirror polish, the ProTech action we all know and love. Oh man, that has a nice wicked kick, man. Whew, really nice. Yeah, I love the crosshatch on it. And you've got the best iteration of the skull clip right here. It's milled or mounted from the inside so you don't get screw holes, and you've got the eyeballs showing through. Yeah, just wicked, man. It's a ProTech that looks like a Chaves, which means it's going to be pretty darn good. Next from ProTech, also from the show, Blade Show West 2025 edition of the Godson. This one is number 63 of 80. Sorry, wipe the oil off the blade there for the camera. We've got 20 CV for the blade steel here. That very sharp needle-like spear point blade with the aggressive swedge on the back. Aluminum handles, purple marble carbon fiber for the inlay, abalone for the firing button right there, deep carry pocket clip and a hidden lanyard or a integrated lanyard in the back spacer. Let's check out the action here. Yeah, doesn't quite kick as hard as the Chaves collab there does, but still kicks very, very nicely. It's the sleekified version of the classic Italian stiletto. The little curly cues have kind of been chopped off, angularized, and this is the kind of shape you wind up with. A very, very cool knife in limited quantities for this Blade Show version. Engraved there at the back. Next up, and also from Blade Show West, and the last one from Blade Show West for today, we have the Jack Wolf collaboration knife with LT Wright, the Vampire Hunter. Very, very cool knife. We have an extremely limited quantity of these, and I expect they'll probably sell fairly quickly, even given that it is a $300 price tag. What you're getting is a handcrafted knife made here in the USA with Magna Cut steel, really nicely polished micarta with copper accents or copper hardware, pins and the lanyard tube right there. But I don't know, I think this knife is cool just on the face of it, but for me, it's a little deeper too. I think Jack Wolf is doing some really cool stuff in the industry. He's, more or less my age. I think he's not, actually I don't know how old he is, but I feel like we're in a similar generational span, doing really cool things in the industry. So that's fun for me to see. And I also love LT Wright, both from the perspective of what he does, but also as a friend in the industry. LT and I go way back, so it's really cool seeing him and Ben over at Jack Wolf collaborate, which is why I probably have to pick one of these up for myself. Sorry.
All our friends are getting along.
It's a cool knife. I love the shape. I love the slight flare to the drop point. It's got a little bit of that elliptical shape to it. You folks know I like that. We talked about that in an FAQ video a couple of weeks ago. Full flat grind. Magna Cut is very cool. HRC on this is 62 to 64, so it's a really good target. It's really cool, and it's a pocket fixed blade. Granted, you're gonna need big pockets. In fact, my pockets aren't quite big enough for the pants I usually wear to accommodate this. Let's check out the length here. That is about 6 3/8 of an inch of pocket depth to work with the DCC clip right there inside the pocket. Keep that in mind.
You're fine in cargo shorts.
Yeah, some pants are going to work better than others for this, of course. You could certainly do it like inside the belt. That could clip onto the outer edge of the belt pretty well. You might be able to do it inside the waistband too. If it were longer, you might be able to belt carry with it, but as you can see, it's a pretty narrow clip right there. But US made sheath as well. Ben was talking about this to us. I don't remember who made it. Taylor Cortez made in the USA as well. So all of this knife, US made, handmade, US made, which, you know, that's why it's around that $300 point. I like it. I like it a lot. So if you go to the link in the description and it says discontinued or currently unavailable, that means they did sell out. Like I said, we do have an extremely limited quantity of that, but I had to show it because it's awesome. How about a more affordable pocket fixed blade? We haven't had a lot of like crazy affordable stuff so far. You know, the Swiss Army knives, of course, are quite affordable. This is the most affordable apart from those, at about 60 bucks for the Boker Plus 5.9, another pocket fixed blade here. Blade itself is about 2.4, just under 2.4. We've got 440C. Good steel for the price point, I would say. Tan micarta handles here. It's almost got like a butterscotch quality to it. I bet you that'll darken a little bit over time as the UV kind of reacts on it. It has sort of a scalpel-like quality in the profile, but it is a little bit chunkier on the blade than a scalpel for sure. There's some definite strength in the spine right there. Thickness looks to be about, it's about 1/8 of an inch, I would say. Let me see. 0.125. Nailed it. Micrometers are doing their duty today. Sheath for this. Here it is. It comes with the Kydex sheath and the pocket hardware right here. So you can set this up right or left. Great pocket fixed blade, or you could carry it as a neck knife if you would prefer, or you could just slip it in your pocket without the hardware. But I'm glad they included the hardware so we can truly say it is a pocket fixed blade. Pocket fixed blade with a shorter blade and longer handle, meaning you don't have a ton of reach with it, but you have the ability to control it really nicely and effectively and impart a lot of strength into that small blade. If you'd rather have a bigger blade and smaller handle, there are, of course, other pocket fixed blade options out there than this one. But this is a cool one, and the price is really nice. This is the first of many Bokers we have to talk about, but we have so many that a lot of them got pushed to next week because, as you can see, we already had a pretty full table, but here are a couple more, including the Micro Tracker Flipper. It is finally here. We saw this in January at SHOT Show. I am very enamored of it. Tracker blades are always very cool, and to have a flipper version pocket knife is just extra cool. Price on this is about 123 bucks and some change. It comes with 154 cm steel with that signature tracker blade shape. Micarta handles with the black liners, deep carry, pocket clip here, liner lock, and it flips. Man, it flips. Really cool. I've said this before. Actually, this is kind of interesting. The Micro Tracker fixed blade, of which there is a new version out now that you can see. I've always said, despite the origins of the tracker blade being on a larger knife, which we also have, I always thought this would make a cool EDC. You've got a usable tip, usable belly, the hook right here. It can be great for opening packages without digging in with the point too much. Yeah, it's just cool. But making it a folder is going to make it a lot easier for folks to actually take me up on that suggestion because it's way easier to carry than a slightly chunkier fixed blade like this. That's pretty cool. It is a stainless steel, but it still has the dark blade coating on it, that kind of traditional powder coat, traction coating right there, just for style. It's a stainless steel, it doesn't actually need it, but yeah, they wanted it to match the aesthetic of the larger knives, or the fixed blades, I should say. Here it is, the Micro Tracker 2.0, 93 bucks and some change, 1095 carbon steel blade. So you've got that powder coating there as well. What was I gonna say? About just over 3¼ inches long. It differs from the flipper in one way. The flipper has a swedge along the back part of the spine. The fixed blade has a crowned spine instead of a swedge. That's really nice. It's very comfortable for getting up there because it's rounded over. And also on the larger knife, which also has that feature, a good place for your baton to hit without tearing up your baton if you're using it to split wood. Nice small skinner. This section here has carving applications, especially feather sticking towards yourself. I know you're not supposed to cut towards yourself, but hey, it works. Exercise caution, be safe. This is not me recommending how to use your knife, other than recommending that you use it safely. Covered?
We're not lawyers.
We're not lawyers. Still think it's good advice. But 3 handle screw attachments here with pass-throughs for sticking it, lashing it to a stick, spear things, survival knife things. Not that I typically recommend that, but you could. Sheath here is Kydex. It comes with a wide belt clip right here. As you can see, attach that left or right. Well, I suppose you could attach it to the right side here, but it would be sticking out that way. So in reality, this is kind of, or actually that would be right side carry. It's gonna be more conducive to right side than left side carry out of the box, but you could certainly get an alternate attachment method if you wanted to carry it on the left side, such as, I would say a Civivi T-clip would be ideal. Yep, that should work pretty well. Or a large tech lock would work with that. And some multi-clips would work as well. If you want the larger tracker, we have this one right here, which is called the Mini Tracker. They had a larger version of this at one point. So micro, mini with its over 5-inch long blade, and then the standard one, which we don't have a new 2.0 version of the standard one right now. Anyway, this is, all of these, I haven't mentioned this, are Dave Wenger's take on the classic tracker pattern, which was designed to combine like small hatchety chopping things with the ability on this recurve section here at the back to use it as a draw knife or for smaller utility work. It lacks stuff like the saw back that the originals had, but those were always kind of a notching saw anyway. You're not sawing down a tree. I'd personally take the crown spine here for better wood splitting personally. $102 for this with $10.95. Already told you the blade length, just over a little bit over 5 inches, 3/16 of an inch thick. Let me verify. 0.2, so it's a little bit more than 3/16 of an inch. It's super solid though. Micarta handles on all of these feel pretty good. There's not a lot of contouring this way, so you might mod that if you want, but it doesn't feel bad. I probably would leave it just like it is, honestly. There you go. Last but not least is the most impressive fixed blade from Boker on the table, and that is this. And this knife really goes to show how much Boker has done with elevating the Magnum brand of knives in their lineup, which is typically their lowest tier on the price ladder. You have Boker Magnum, Boker Plus for anything that's not made in Germany, and then Boker for the German-made stuff. Oh, you've also got the Arbolito line, made in Argentina, of course. But the Magnum collection 2025, they've done for the last several years a high-end limited piece from the Boker Magnum line, and this is my favorite one yet. It is designed by Nathan the Machinist, aka Carruthers Performance Knives. I've been a fan of his designs for many years, back from the old Blade Forums days. And his stuff is still available, but it is kind of hard to get a hold of, much less at this kind of price point. We have got this at $145. The design is great. It's a 6-inch long blade. The material is BKR 10 stainless steel. I am way unfamiliar with that. Give me a moment. According to Boker, it is let me read it here. Performance profile comparable to Japanese VG10. Not bad at all, man. So yeah, good stainless qualities, good edge retention, decent enough toughness. It's not Magna Cut levels of toughness or carbon powder metal stainless levels of toughness, but it's pretty good toughness. The balance is awesome. The handles are black G10. The shape is excellent. This is a knife that could be conducive to tactical or combat use, outdoor survival, general big use, even like some butchering, like higher, not necessarily like fine skinning, but maybe in a pinch. But I love the profile. I love the shape. The price is great. The materials are spot on for this size and price of a fixed blade. The sheath is pretty well done. Maybe the only thing I would change here, I'd like a deeper, like a dangler option potentially, but that's just personal preference. The sheath is well made with the belt loop stitched onto the back. It's pretty cool, man. I don't know what else to say. Good on Boker Magnum. Their lower end stuff has been getting better and better, and this is my favorite high-end Boker Magnum I've ever held. Bravo, guys. Anyway, that's all we've got for this week, folks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and to get your hands on any of these for yourself, links in the description. We'll take you to KnifeCenter.com. While you're there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our Sezzle payment options at checkout if some of these more expensive knives would be more palatable if you broke it up into several payment chunks. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.